Realm Royale. This game could or could not take the title of the weirdest battle royale game. As you know, battle royale games are heavily oversaturated at the moment, with the biggest game in the world, Fortnite, being a competitor to anyone who dares to step forth.
I think you really got it.
Only a few games such as Apex Legends, Warzone, and Slither.io are some of the names you may recognize. This is because they survived the Fortnite effect. However, not many games get this lucky. Hyperscape is a huge example of this, with the game only shutting down at Season 3, not even a full year of its release. This is also an issue for games that are free to play that require players to play the game to make profit. More players equals more consumers willing to buy more cosmetics. Realm Royale has been that battle royale game that literally just exists. The game was developed by Hi-Rez. The game has also been released twice, just like Splitgate has, and so far I cannot name a single person that knows this game exists, even when it's on the front page of Steam most of the time. So, in this video we'll cover 3 points: what the game is like, how fun it is to play, and why the game isn't that successful. Let's... What's wrong with me, bruh? Now, the game feels like a third-person Paladins, and somehow to me it feels worse than Paladins. Why? What year is this, bro? As you know, Paladins was made to be Overwatch for people who had the absolute worst setup. You can say the same thing about Realm Royale. It's literally a third-person Apex Legends for those who can't even run the game at more than 3 FPS, because the game on the highest settings still looks uncomfortable to look at.
Oh, the graphics are so ass. The graphics are so ass.
Saying the graphics are so ass every second is not gonna fix it. While playing the game, I realized one major issue is with the lobbies I connect to, especially when it takes 90 years to get into a game. All of these lobbies are filled with bots. Every single lobby I have loaded into has just been bots. But when I come across actual players, I end up getting fumbled so hard because currently there seems to be a meta with some minigun or LMG. I don't know what it is. Before loading in, you'll be greeted with a class system. You have 5 classes and each class have different abilities, and stupidly enough there are weapons and chests you can't even use because they are class specific. I use the Hunter class because look at me, I'm a movement player, Lois. The Reforge mechanic works exactly like the Fortnite upgrade station. You have abilities and weapons that are low rarity, reforge them to a high rarity. Only difference between the two is that it takes 20 seconds of your life to upgrade to the stuff you want. And sometimes you may not even get what you want because the constant sound of that stupid hammer hitting the anvil makes so much noise, so you're better off with what you find. Now, even in solos can you get downed. Once you have lost all of your health to the guy with the minigun, you will turn into a chicken or whatever cosmetic you bought. The only thing that you have to do as the chicken is survive. Once the timer is done, you're back in the game. Now that we understand what the game is and how to play it, let's talk about how fun it really is. And to put it simply, I hate the side of this game. With the graphics looking unpleasant even on the highest settings, plus adding on the fact that 74 players on the field, only 3 of them are actual players, the game feels very forced. I struggle to have fun on this game purely because of the fact that the game feels like a single player battle royale game. The introduction to bots on the battle royale scene only really works on the games that can push over 100,000 active players on each server. For Realm Royale, this is not the case. Whilst playing the game, I realized one oddly specific thing, and that thing is the fact that the game had no atmospheric sound. With Fortnite Apex, you can hear wind, buildings moving, etc. But with this game, it's complete silence added with 2 birds in your right or left ear. Realm Royale is missing way too much, and with a second release, the game feels empty, unfinished, unpleasant to play, and even remotely calling it a successor to Paladins is a laughingstock, because unlike Realm Royale, Paladins is actually fun to play, once you understand the concept of the game, of course. A lot of things in this game confuse me. It definitely isn't an even fighting ground because the health and shield pool is ridiculously large, alongside the weapon balancing that doesn't even exist. Some abilities seem useless and the others just confuse me on how they work. There was no creativity behind this game. Look, I'm all for reusing assets, but if it's a straight rip from your other game and somehow you made it worse than the game it was ripped from, then really is there even any point of releasing it? I don't know if it's just me, but I can't see a single person that actively talks about this game. If you search up Realm Royale on YouTube, Most of the popular videos of this game are from 5 years ago or more, and I'm gonna assume they were all just sponsored by Hi-Rez. One thing that bugged me for 7 years of knowing this game's existence is that people actually used to label this as the Fortnite killer. Turns out the game just killed itself. I have to give credit where credit is due though. I haven't come across any bugs with my time, but really no one is playing the game to find any. The fact that this game still generates some sort of income surprises me. Nothing in this game looks intriguing enough to buy. Makes me think they're pulling funds from paladins to keep this game running. At this point, I just think the game is up for banter. I would have shut this game down if I made it this terrible. But you know what Hi-Rez was thinking. They just wanted to cash grab on the hottest trend at the time being, of course, Battle Royale. And for some odd reason, they seem to still be carrying on with it. Rah, capitalism! Money! Now here's the conclusion to wrap up this whole video. Realm Royale will always be a terrible Battle Royale game, regardless if they make the changes from the ground up or reuse even more assets from Paladins. Hi-Rez never intended to give this game a chance, and since then the game just stayed up to be a passive income generator. The only loss that this game will make is definitely keeping the servers up, because I don't think there's anyone else being put to work on this game. So that leaves me to give this game a Kendo score of 2. Bad concept, terrible gameplay, unpleasing graphics, overall unfun to play.